Hello everyone and welcome. I'm Ali at 11th House Wellbeing and this is our Wednesday appointment and I really hope that you are all well. So today we're talking about difficult emotions, whether it be anxiety, whether it be fear, whether it be disappointment or regret, anything difficult, any kind of emotional pain, which is part of our human experience. And the way that we generally react to this pain is we try to shut it out. We tense up, don't we? We try to get away from it, we try to take a mind off, we try to fight it sometimes, we get angry, we get belligerent. We don't want it to happen. We don't want to have to go through this, or we get depressed. And there is an assumption behind all of this that it shouldn't happen. There's an assumption that we should go back to normal. There's a sense that this difficult experience, whatever it is aberrant in the true sense of the word. So is straying away from the right course, what we consider to be the right course. And it feels unfair sometimes. It feels like a personal attack. Why is this happening to me? And very often, for all of this effort that we put into getting away from it or fighting it, all we get is that we make it worse for ourselves. And we make it worse because we are creating all this layer of extra suffering, which is all of the resistance towards it, around this kernel of original pain that was there. So in mindfulness, we do things differently. What we do is, instead of turning away, we turn towards the pain, we turn towards the difficult. We turn towards it not with a combative attitude, not with confrontation, but just acknowledging that right now, that's our experience. Right now, that is what is happening. And right now, it is there inside us, doing its thing. And then we turn towards it and towards ourselves with kindness. This is something that a lot of people struggle with, kindness towards ourselves. And the fact that at the moment we are struggling, and it's just part of the human experience. Right now we are struggling, and we can direct that kindness towards us. So we can try this now. Choose a struggle that you want to work with. It could be something that you're struggling with right now. It could be continuous, happening all the time, or it could be happening regularly, or it could just be a one-off. It could be something from the past as well. Now, the usual disclaimer is, because these online sessions are very, very quick, they're very short, please don't choose something big. This is just for you to go through the process and familiarize yourselves with the process, so that when you want to do this on your own, you know what to do. So just for now, choose something relatively minor. It could be an annoyance, it could be something that is irritating you or that irritated you in the past. And once you have chosen, I'll give you just a few seconds to just scan your mental horizon and choose something to home in on. And once you have chosen, the first thing that we do is just acknowledge it. So we turn towards it, and it's as if we were looking at it, and just acknowledge that, well, it is there. And something else that you can do to reinforce the fact that you are seeing it, you are taking on board the fact that it is there, and you are acknowledging it, is you can actually vocalize it. Just say to yourself, this is happening. Or this is difficult. I'm finding this hard. This is a moment of difficulty. This is suffering. And once you have acknowledged that it is happening, where is it in the body? Now, generally we have an embodied experience. So whenever we go through something hard, something negative, we feel it in the body as well. So if you give yourself, your body, a quick scan, starting from your toes and going up to your head, can you find where it doesn't feel right as you are thinking about this experience? Now, for example, I feel things in my stomach a lot, but it could be a sense of a dull pain or constriction in your chest, or it could be in your throat, or it could be, sometimes people say, oh, it's all in my head. Okay, so what does it feel like in your head? Is it burning? Is it a dull pain? Is it sharp? Is it throbbing? So wherever you find it in the body, what does it feel like? Put your attention there. Try and put all of your attention there. And then see if you can soften up around it. So you know how normally we tend to scrunch up around it, don't we? We tend to tense up and like we are shrinking ourselves around it. So instead, we're trying to do the opposite. Just relax around it and soften up. And it's almost as if we were creating more space around this sensation. And keep in mind that we can afford to create more space for it because we are a lot vaster than whatever this is. We are a lot vaster than this physical sensation. We are a lot vaster than whatever difficult emotion we are feeling, whatever difficult thoughts we are thinking. And we use this analogy very often that we are like the sky, and then the clouds. The weather is changing all the time, and the clouds are going across us, and they rise up and they change shape sometimes, and then they go. And this analogy is just to show that we are so much bigger than whatever thoughts, emotions, feelings, sensations are happening within us and across us like clouds. And it's that quote by Walt Whitman is coming to mind now. The one where he says, I am large, I contain multitudes. And that's just what I'm trying to say, that we are vast, and whatever is happening is temporary, and we tend to identify with it. We tend to identify with negative thoughts. We tend to identify with difficult emotions. We sort of shrink a whole being when there is something that hurts until we become that point, we become that pain, and then we start believing our thoughts and negative thoughts about reality, about ourselves as well. So this is really going in the opposite way. This is softening up, creating more space, keeping in mind that you are not that emotion and you are not this physical discomfort either. You're much, much greater than that. And something else that you can do is, and at this point you might already have noticed that sensation is changing by making space around it, but you can also use physical touch. So what happens when you can put a hand wherever the feeling, the sensation is in your body, or two hands, and when you use physical touch like this, touching, holding, it produces oxytocin, and in turn oxytocin gives us a sense of trust, a sense of things being alright, a sense of comfort and reassurance. And something else that we can do on top of this as well is thinking, what words would you say to a friend, to someone that you love who was going through the same experience that you are going through? You wouldn't say the harsh things that we tend to say to ourselves, like, oh, come on, Fed, grow a backbone, it's not that bad, it's not important. And, you don't have time for this and all these things, we would be attentive, we would be comforting and soothing, which say things like, oh, I'm so sorry you're feeling like that. It's okay. It's okay. I know it hurts and you'll be fine. It will pass. You're safe. You're safe. You'll be okay. So we can actually say these things to ourselves as well, instead of that constant carping, constant inner monologue that we have, judging ourselves. We can change that carping to positive self-talk, to comforting ourselves, which is a lot more supportive, a lot more helpful in the long run. So try and see how this goes, and as you go and as you form a habit of going through this process with difficult emotions, so you acknowledge it, you soften up around it, and you use self-kindness, you will find that this emotional pain, these difficult feelings will become more malleable, they will become softer, they will become easier to live with and to work with and to deal with, rather than having that harshness, that extra layer, the harshness that we produce with the resistance towards it. So that's done today, and I really hope to see you here next week. So that's it. Goodbye from me. Please give it a go and let me know how it goes. And goodbye from Edgar as well. All the best. Have a lovely week. Stay safe. Bye. Bye bye.